In Chapter 15 of CIST 2611 Network Defense and Countermeasures, we're looking at techniques used by hackers. So a couple of objectives for this chapter is to understand the basic techniques used by hackers, also be able to formulate strategies to defend against common attacks, and also understand some hacking tools. So once again, the purpose of this chapter is to introduce you to the basic of hacking by looking at some of the common attacks. By looking at the system's flaws, you can look at a way to protect your system by learning how that system is exploited. First, we'll talk about three types of hackers. We have a white hat hacker. That's usually a penetration tester. That's what it's called nowadays. It's someone who hacks the system with permission of the owners. A black hat hacker is the person who gains access to a system in order to cause some type of harm. These are also sometimes called crackers. And cracking is referred to, it's defined as hacking with malicious intent. A gray hat hacker falls in between a white and black. It's normally a law-abiding citizen, but in some cases will venture into illegal activities. The first thing you want to do when you're getting ready to hack is to prepare your hacking. To prepare to hack is gaining a footprint. You're gaining information. You're passively searching for this information, and you're not trying to connect to the target system at this point. A couple of ways you can gain information, for example, is you can go to the website, the target website, such as the example here of netcraft.com. You may look at older versions of the site. So you may go to archive.org. That's the website that archives all the websites on the internet. And from there, you can go back and look at the website at a different point in time. The reason you could do this is because you're going to gain information there. So you can learn about changes in the companies. You can learn about if the directory is posted. You can learn information about employees. You may see they have a high turnover rate. This part of the hacking is where you'll see also people doing physical searching for information, where they may go out and dumpster dive, social engineer, those type of activities, which will gain information about a target by the hackers. A couple other ways you can prepare to hack is active scanning. All right, so port scanning, that's ping scans, connect scans, sync scans, fin scans. It's a process of scanning mostly the 1,024 well-known ports, or it may be all of the ports that are scanned, which there are 65,535 ports. So what you're doing here is you're looking for an open port. So some information in your textbook that explains what information you can find from an open port. So the example they give is port 161. That indicates the target's using a simple network management protocol. From there, you may find a known vulnerability that could be exploited. There's all different ports will tell you what information is being used, what protocols are being used, what maybe software, browsers, protocols, and those type of things. Enumerating is finding out what computers, shared folders, or users are on a given network or machine. All of these will provide a point of attack, or can provide a point of attack. And there are some useful tools, that are available for scanning. Nmap is one of the most popular ones. You may have a vulnerability assessment tool. That's a tool that'll scan. It'll seek out known vulnerabilities. Next, we'll move into the attack phase. Now, in here we have the physical access attacks, such as bypassing the password. So you can break into Windows computers by bypassing the password. You can maybe do it using something techniques to trick tech support. And your textbook goes into this information, these steps to go through using these different attacks. The OAP crack, it's a window password cracking tool. It boots the system into Linux and uses a process called Rainbow Table. It cracks the entries into the security account manager's file. Now, there are also some remote access attacks such as SQL injection or cross-site scripting. With an SQL injection, it's where a remote access attack, and it uses a malicious code to manipulate the database into revealing information. Once again, your textbook walks through an example of an SQL injection. Cross-site scripting, it's a remote access attack that redirects the user to other pages or sites. Once again, follow up in your textbook for more information on a cross-site scripting and how they walk you through step-by-step on those. All right, so Wi-Fi is going to be a target for a hacker. So with Wi-Fi, we do have a couple of attacks we're going to talk about. Jamming. It's where you jam the Wi-Fi signal so users cannot get a network. This is a DOS attack. Deauthentication. This is sending a deauthentication or log-off packet to the wireless access point. That packet will spoof the user's IP address, and this is used to trick the user to disconnect from the legit access point and then reconnecting to a rogue access point when they log back in. The WPS attack, the Wi-Fi protected setup. This uses a PIN to connect to the wireless access point. So in this attack, or WPS uses a PIN. In this attack, the attack attempts to intercept the PIN in transmission. So we're trying to intercept the sign-in PIN, connect to the wireless access point, and then from there, still the security password, the WPA2 password. All right, cracking the password is where you actually break the encryption. This is something that's not necessarily likely to succeed unless you have a bad Wi-Fi password. Now, if you have a bad Wi-Fi password or an easily cracked password, it's something that could succeed then. All right, so to sum up Chapter 15, you should be aware of the techniques that are used by hackers. Be aware that hackers are going to try to gain information. They are going to try to get that footprint, passively searching for information, not only the publicly available information, but they will also try to go back into, say, archives.org and try to find historical information. Active searchers attempt to communicate with the target machine. These include port scanning, enumeration, and identifying vulnerabilities. Attacks can occur locally at the physical site or remotely. There are a couple different ways that local attacks may include bypassing a password or using the OPFCrack trying to get our tech support. Remote attacks may include the SQL injection or cross-site scripting. Wi-Fi is a target as well, and those can include a DOS attack of jamming or deauthentication, the WPA attacks, and then also cracking the Wi-Fi password.